Recording is on.
Hey all, welcome to External Secrets Operator Community Meeting. Just as always, we do have a code of conduct available in our site. I'm going to get it for you right now. Basically tells us not to be jerks to each other. If you want to follow the community notes, they are here. And I think today we have no newcomers, so we might as well start with the agenda. Cool. So for the first point, it is a non-technical first. The YouTube podcast update. I think now that we're past KubeCon, it might be worth to keep tabs on it and maybe try to reach out for some more podcasters to see what they have to say. Also, an update for the community. We kinda got a free podcast during KubeCon. It is already live. It's for Cloud Unfiltered, episode 134. Please check it if you want. And that will be it for my side. Any other comments? Good. So next one, Docs update. Maybe just as we're having this podcast update, we should probably have a Google Docs with all the talks. For instance, one that is happening right now after the community meeting is a talk at the Cloud Native Community Foundation for CNCF for Johannesburg meetup. We are talking about external secrets there. It's going to be how this project was born, the whole presentation that we already ran sometimes. So maybe having a docs just to keep tabs on all of this might help. Third and last point for non-technical, CNCF application. I will let you talk now, Moritz, because I think you're kind of the main lead behind this one.
Yeah, what can I tell? I pressed the button and that's it basically. I put some effort into writing a little bit more text about like the different fields they require us to fill out. So yeah, just writing a little bit about the origin story and the use cases behind that, and I guess like that's like the most important part is that we basically like merged from different projects and so on and so forth. So it's quite a lot of text, and I'm pretty sure that we can reuse it in other occasions as well when I don't know, handing in CFPs or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to the TOC meeting and see what they say about that. I think the TOC meeting will be on 14th or 16th of June, if I remember correctly, somewhere around that, mid-June. And yeah, let's see how we go from there.
Do we have to attend that meeting, or is like between them and then they just give the results after that?
Yeah, I think that's an internal meeting that is not recorded as far as I'm aware of, and then they basically just discuss it, do the voting, and then they send out like an email. There's actually like a email list that you can follow where all the communication is happening between the projects and the TOC.
Cool.
Yeah, I can add that to the HackMD. That was an interesting read for me. So just to understand what kind of feedback the TOC gives to projects that apply to it, and yeah, that's basically it.
I would just like to add a little bit of context here. So from the last community meeting, we were thinking about what we needed to do to apply to CNCF. In these 2 weeks, with the KubeCon and with conversation around people and trying to understand how the process goes, we kind of realized we are already good to go from what we understood. So we decided to apply it, and we did the submission to become CNCF Sandbox today. So yeah, so not next community meeting, but maybe the other one, we might talk about it. Super cool.
Nice.
Now, this goes for the non-technical points. Regarding the technicals, one that was a bit of a pendency from the last community meeting, we had some issues to bump Google gRPC and Google API packages because of the controller tools. controller tools was just released, the new version that doesn't break anymore, and submitted the bump today. So right now we got two fearless dependencies to update. Next, sorry.
One note on that, not specifically on that, but I think you also worked on bumping the Kubernetes API versions to 124.
But
I think there was an issue with the Argus CD because they did not bump yet, and we depend on them solely for the end-to-end test, as far as I'm aware of. If that takes too long or is a problem, because I think we really want to move on and support 124, if that becomes a problem, we might have to redo the implementation to not depend explicitly on these packages. That would also be, will be like a way more ugly implementation.
Like installing with a
it's
CLI,
feasible.
probably.
Yeah, either that or just some ugly inline YAML in Go source code that will be ugly, but will do, I think. So if that kind of blocks for us for like longer than a month or so, then we might redo the implementation on that end.
That's a good call. I will even put in the notes. So let me add here on the controller runtime bump blocked by Argo CD dependencies. And we can also put here as an action item, if Argo CD doesn't update for the next 2 community meetings, refactor. Pretty much it, right? Cool. So next technical point, I just wanted to pen this out. Data from key rewrite is the issue 975. I need to put this as well. Is getting really requested by users. Like, it's the new how to install that we used to get all the time, or simple errors or namespace errors. It's basically becoming the main recursion over our Kubernetes Slack. Issues as well, even PRs attempting to quickly fix the issue. It's basically for users which are using parameter store because of how parameter store works, I guess. I'm just putting the issue link here very quickly. It's 975. So there is already a PR that tried to resolve the user's particular issue. I asked them to try to actually go for something more provider, not a provider specific thing, but more general rewrites. They will try to do it, but we should keep tabs on it. And if they start to take too long, we should probably get it and do it ourselves, especially because it's one of the things that we want to do before releasing 0.6.
Yeah, I agree. This is really important. And if I recall correctly, I think it is also. Oh no, it's not designed yet, right? It's not completely designed. So we should first have a design doc, design it properly, capture all the use cases, and then go on with implementation.
The current draft proposal design is within the issue, and we can probably use it as a starting point, because I think it would work even if we think about templating, which is the the use case that was probably not fully into there as well. But yeah, I agree. We also need to design it. Even if we have like a PR by the community, it is probably going to change a little bit just because we need to be sure of the use cases.
Maybe it would be a great idea to let the contributor know that we want to design before implementing, because he will be implementing this by himself, and then we should not waste his effort, I would think.
Yeah, I can probably ping them and ask not to, and then we can just take the effort internally and then do the design properly. Because it wouldn't also be fair to ask them to wait until we figure out what we want to do and then implement it, right?
Why not?
They will be waiting.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like it's important at this stage to get the design right. Um, I'm also tempted to rush forward, but I think it really makes sense to first capture all the use cases and make sure that we design properly and document everything that is important around that feature and make sure that we get the CRD design right, because if we don't get it right, it will be really hard to move on if we have something that is broken, basically.
What we can also ask is for the contributor to help with the design and also participate in the discussion. So it's not waiting; it's basically being part of it.
Yeah, agree with you. The thing is, the original contribution was not really focused on the issue that we're talking here. It was really because of the symptom that they were having.
I
So
see.
quick
Yeah,
fix.
I see.
You see the point that I'm talking about? Maybe they don't have the time and effort to actually dedicate for this whole full feature, even if they have the interest. So let's ask them first. I think that's the start of everything, actually, right?
Yeah, makes
But
sense.
cool. I just want to bring attention that this probably should be the next big feature that we should focus, just because users are asking for it, and I can understand why. We actually have a pain in the ass use case if we don't have this feature. It's just horrible for users to migrate from Kubernetes external secrets to external secrets operator.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Next technical point. Moritz, do a release.
Yeah, that's a question. So I would propose to make a release at maybe today, tomorrow, Friday, something like that, just the next couple of days. Mostly because I would like to deliver how is it called again? The referent authentication portion with a clustered secret store that basically allows users who use HashiCorp Vault to leverage the secrets from the referent external secret namespace, to use that secret basically. That used to work pre 0.5, and we broke it with 0.5 with a very strict validation that we implemented. That was sort of a hidden feature, and I basically backported it so users can use it, but only for HashiCorp Vault. All other providers do not support it, and we still have the strict validation in place. And once that's the idea, once the providers implement it, we can loosen the validation and allow people to use that particular feature.
I have already gave a look at the code. I just didn't test it locally to see if things work. But my main concerns are already taken into consideration in your implementation, which is basically with the floodgate and, I don't know, making a mess out of it. It's already good to go. So I'll just put an action item here for me to review it, because if that's the main thing that we want to release, right? And I need to get the...
Yeah, I think apart from that, there are some other things that, like a couple of version bumps and another provider for IBM Secrets Manager private certificate. That's how it's called. Yeah, I think these are all the items that get released. So I guess like a patch release makes sense here.
Agree. The other bumps, maybe we can put one bump that the Pendabot didn't catch because the other was breaking. which is another bump for the Google Golang API. And then that's it. So 1176, this bump. And I think we can cut off 0.5.4. So, okay, we focus on it today. Awesome. Today, this week, the rest of this week. Next point, secret generator functionality. Oh my God, this is a good one.
Yeah, I really don't want to waste too much time on that. Maybe just a couple of minutes about that. So we had that issue open a couple of months ago, several months ago. I think like October last year, something like that. Maybe even longer. And the basic idea is to let the external secrets operator generate secrets for a user, and the user just defines like how the secret should look like, should be generated. Like, should it have like alphanumeric numbers, special characters, whatever? And the question is like, should that be part of the external secrets operator or not? Yeah, someone, Jan, actually, someone I met at KubeCon, opened the issue regarding that. And I really think that it makes sense from a product perspective that we, pull in secrets, and we also generate secrets. And now in a hopefully near future, we're gonna also like be able to push secrets. So I think that from a product perspective, it makes sense. But yeah, I just want to know what you think about that.
I actually like the idea. The thing that it scares me is that secret generation itself has a lot of features and caveats, right? So we will probably need to figure out how to handle rotation to have like a proper secret generation tool. In the sense of the operator that syncs secrets, we would actually be a little bit off. But from the external secrets operator, I think it's actually quite valuable. This would effectively allow a user to not have any secrets provider and just use the Kubernetes cluster as a secrets cluster, and then spread out secrets for other clusters with all the features that we already have. So this is like take out your costs from where it is and put it into your Kubernetes supervised, right? I'm just afraid that secret generation is harder than it looks. So that's my main issue.
Yeah, I sent a comment on the issue with an adjacent subject in a way. Like I saw this comment during Gustavo's podcast appearance from the host. Something that I liked, like talking about the project having core values and like guidelines for technical decisions that we can refer to when we are at a like a at a point that we need to make a decision. And I think that if we think about that and we have this documented, then we can like I don't know, maybe use this as something that help us make these kinds of architectural and new features decisions. What do you think?
I agree. The main point, I'd say, our main value here, already starting the discussion, is actually making handling secrets easy, right?
Yeah.
In that sense, generating secrets kind of goes for it. I'm
But
just
what
not sure
about
if we actually.
the
I'm more
complexity?
concerned about the house, exactly, not of the ifs, but the house. And
Yeah.
just like Emin said, Emin, by the way, if you want to introduce yourself, I don't think we've ever met. Completely optional.
Yeah, I can do that. Hello, everyone.
Nice
I'm
to meet
Emin.
you.
Nice to meet you too, Gustavo. I just started at Container Solutions as a cloud native engineer this month. So this is my introduction to Gustavo as well. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
So, just like as you stated, storing secret securely is hard as well, especially because we won't be able to, I don't know, unless we actually pass that to the user, like you need to make your etcd safe, which most users won't even be able to comply to if they're using public clouds. Yeah, this is a whole new level of things to think about.
Yeah, most people don't even care about encrypting their etcds, or it's just hard for secrets providers to handle that for the users, for the lazy users actually, because most of us are lazy regarding to these kind of security configurations, because yeah, it's kind of time consuming, right? It's crucially important, but most of us don't pay enough attention to securing our kernels or Kubernetes clusters or etcd. Yeah.
But we are talking about secret generation, and you mentioned, Gustavo, that a good thing would be like people can even not use external providers, like. But we are also talking about secret generation to external providers, right? So
Yes.
and then there are some external providers that actually have that feature, secret generation
HashiCorp
on
Vault,
them.
for instance.
HashiCorp Vault, for instance, yes.
Yeah.
And then we need to take that in consideration as well, right? Because it would be a good feature, like if the generation doesn't happen on our side, and we just trigger the generation on the external provider, and then this gets generated,
Exactly.
and it would be super awesome.
From the use case that I was telling, it will be like we define that we want a secret to be generated into the Kubernetes provider. There will have like a method to generate the secrets and not actually sync from a target Kubernetes secret. And then we can actually use the nice features for HashiCorp Vault that users are also asking.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we probably can start with a similar approach to what we did in the beginning. Actually, what Moritz did in the beginning. So starting the CRD proposal and just like getting a lot of discussion out of it. We can like start
One
a
thing
discussion about what makes sense here, but also the design in a way.
Yeah.
Eventually, it will end up in a proper design, and then we see the implementation.
Only one thing that I would suggest: let's not put this on our path to GA.
Yeah.
I mean, I still believe our focus to GA should be external secrets, secret stores, validated. If we need to create a new secret generator or even update the secret sync, let's keep them on V1 Alpha 1 as a preview feature and release it in a 2.0.
Agreed.
Cool,
Awesome.
Thanks.
Next point, Prometheus rules in Helm chart.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't like that.
Cool. That's what I was asking for, whether we should support that or not. So my a user came up with that idea to basically provide some basic rules to the Helm charts, add them to them, and yeah.
My issue with that is that not every user uses Prometheus. Are we going to keep basic metrics for every deployment? Also, should we then extend to have some basic Grafana dashboards? Not every user uses Grafana dashboards. We are going to get into a rabbit hole that I don't think we should.
Yeah. I guess like there's like, we support Service Monitor for now. Because like most users use Prometheus operator to get their stuff going, or maybe Grafana operator, they support the same CRD anyways. My main concern was around the issue because we have to make everything configurable, all the labels, all the annotations, maybe some threshold, maybe the for attribute, like how long it should be in a specific state before like this rule triggers and stuff like that. And I think that that's really hard to maintain in the long term. Like this is one rule, and we have to make that configurable, and we have to like add another like many more rules. And my concerns are around that because it makes it very hard to maintain in the long term. And I would rather push that towards the documentation, so we provide users like a good set of basic Prometheus rules and also even Grafana dashboards that can use and build upon. But it shouldn't be like part of the core Helm chart.
Especially because if we start doing that, maintaining just because our target, I don't know, provider in this case, changes something, so we need to change the whole Helm charts just to keep track. It's like an not mapped dependency that we have here with no dependabots running. So it's like waiting for our users to complain that things broke completely out of our life cycle.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a good way to go.
Yeah, but documentation makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And your
Examples,
documentation is
yeah.
broken is way more easier to handle than your installation is not working for me, right?
Yeah.
Cool,
Cool.
thanks.
I also put an action item here. We have promoted AKS to be internally managed recently. And one of the things that we still miss for it is end-to-end tests, just to be in the same. I don't believe that we don't have end-to-end tests for managed identity and AAD pod identity. So I just put an action item to create these end-to-end tests.
Makes sense.
I think we don't even have an issue, but I can create the issue and track it there. My idea is for me to try to do it, just because I'm not that familiar with the end-to-end test suite, and I really want to try to understand it finally. That's the main goal.
Yeah, ping me if you need some help or introduction on that. It got very complex in the last year, I think. Yeah, on that note, regarding promotion of the providers, not only Azure Key Vault is now internally managed, also the Kubernetes providers now supported by the project itself. And while reviewing the documentation, when bumping the documentation, I noticed that we still don't support service account authentication for the Kubernetes provider, and I think that is something that we should support in order to move it somehow towards beta. I just added an action item to add a ticket for that and to add it to some of the next milestones because I think that's really important.
Cool.
Awesome. I guess that's it. Just in time, actually. We have 30 seconds to, I don't know.
One more thing.
One more.
Rename Secret Sync.
Oh, yeah.
While you held the podcast, I noticed that you said like syncing secrets or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought like, okay, like this is really hard to talk about because you cannot get the difference between sync and sync. So we definitely have to rename that. Just wondering how we're going to do that, especially now since the Beach team is now working on it. We should
changing the name is actually easy.
Yeah, but not only the CRD name, also the file names and all the documentation and everything else that builds upon it. So
we can create a chart there so people can do it. It's
but the hard thing and also choosing a new name.
Choosing a name. Speaking of, I would propose to just call it maybe Push Secret or something like that. That's the best I came up with. If you have any other ideas. I'm just wondering how, like, should I just add an issue and point the Beach team to it, or how does that work like? Because I guess since we implemented it rather early than late.
Since this has no actual value for what we're doing, I think what we can do is just there's like a chore board that the Beach team uses for things that are really unrelated to value streaming. We can just put it there to rename it to upload. What was it called?
Push secret, maybe.
Yeah. And then we can have the next one will be generate secret, like the easiest of them, right? Maybe actually, if we actually plan to have the secret generation onto the provider and kind of mixed with what we're doing with the secret sync, maybe we can call it only generate secret, And the generate secret could reference to a Kubernetes secret. Like I'm going to copy from a Kubernetes secret, hence syncing. And if we don't reference, we could create it. This is a side note, completely unrelated. Let's leave it as push secret for now. But I think that is potential. But again, it's going to be 2.0. Let's not mess things up. It's going to be an evolution.
Yep.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining. I'm stopping the recording now.